Tuesday night from Massey Hall in Toronto, I'm going to play one work only, Beethoven's Symphony No. 6, the Pastoral, courtesy of the keyboard realization by Franz Liszt. Liszt's most ingratiating attribute was his enthusiasm for other people's music. At the best of times, collegial generosity is rather rare among composers, and in the Romantic age, when most composers doubled as performers and thus compounded the problem of critical objectivity, such altruism as Liszt evidenced was almost without precedent. Yet, precisely because of his skills as a performer, Liszt could evangelize on behalf of the masterpieces of the past and persuasively propagandize for the work of his contemporaries as well. And although by popular legend at least, the transcriptions, paraphrases, and quasi-improvisatory indulgences which resulted compromised his own creative efforts, no one can really prove that an eclectic like Liszt would have written more or better had he been deprived the stimulus of those works whose cause he made his own. Nevertheless, the performer-composer dichotomy in Liszt has often been cited by those who propound creative myopia as the natural condition for the artist, and offered as tacit warning to any budding composer who lets fraternal considerations get the better of him. It even led in one pseudo-biographical flick, which has now become a staple of the Late Late Show, to a sharp exchange between Dirk Bogarde and the French actress Manneken Capuchin. "The man's a beast, Franz. Why must you devote your talent to his music? Richard Wagner has the power to touch men's hearts. It is my duty to advance his cause," not least among those time-consuming, cause-advancing tasks which Liszt undertook were his transcriptions for piano solo of the first 8 of Beethoven's symphonies. 4 hands are mercifully allowed into the act for the 9th. According to a rather touching paragraph in Grove's dictionary, these keyboard extravaganzas were intended for his own use in towns which could boast no municipal orchestra, and before audiences which were otherwise without access to the symphonic milestones of Beethoven. Well, we have no such access problem these days, but Liszt's transcription is much more than a tremolo-laden, silent movie-style period piece. It's not just remarkable as an archival curio, nor even as a typically Lisztian object lesson in the deployment of pianistic sonority, for even while it maintains an almost puritanical fidelity to the original text, it captures, I think, Liszt's view of Beethoven, and by implication, the attitude of the Romantic age toward the classicist who unleashed Romanticism. Here, then, Franz Liszt's transcription of Beethoven's Symphony No. 6, the Pastoral. That was Beethoven's Symphony No. 6, the Pastoral, in the superb keyboard realization by Franz Liszt. The work was published as a transcription 125 years ago, and without any statistical check whatsoever, I'm prepared to claim that this CBC Tuesday night broadcast represents its first and quite possibly last performance in Canada.
That was Glenn Gould from Massey Hall, Toronto, in a CBC recital produced by James Kent with the technical assistance of Don Logan.